have a lot of clients who work out in the gyms, particularly men, and of course when you work out in the gym and you're doing squats and things like that, the thigh area becomes very muscly, and of course with trousers, and particularly good dress trousers, what can happen is you can get chafing on the inside leg. So there's two things that I recommend to people when they bring me, say, a suit and it's got to be shortened. The first thing is that I suggest that I give them back the offcuts, and particularly if there's a reasonable amount coming off, which in this case there is. So for example, there's that much, and there's the hem in there which can be let down. And the reason I do that and give that back to them is that at some stage in the future, if they need a little gusset put into that inside leg, then we've got the fabric that belongs to the garment, and particularly if it's a suit. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing is that generally they might have a little saddle in there, something like this, which is quite small, and of course that's really not doing anything to help the wear and tear on the inside leg. It's a bit small. So what I've done is I've created a bigger one, and I've actually used a stretch satin as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'll create a pattern for that, and I'll put it in hints and tips in a blog. I'll call it saddles for trousers. So I'll get that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to put that together so that it becomes like this. So this one I've already done. He had two pairs of trousers with the suit, and so that's what he now has. So that's actually, it's got a bit of movement there, so that's actually going to help to keep that area here from wearing too much. So I'll show you how to put that together, and if you know anyone who's got that problem, then you can download the PDF and create a saddle for them. So this is the finished saddle. It's just tacked there, it is stitched on there, and it's tacked there. And you don't want it to be really like completely flush. You want to leave it so it's just got a little bit of give in it, so that there's a bit of movement. So the first thing you want to do is stitch these two sections together from there to there. So I'll just pin them. I won't video the stitching, I'll just come back and show you what that looks like. But so stitch that there and stitch these two. That and like that. So we'll stitch across there and we'll stitch across there. So I've stitched across there and I've stitched across there, and now I'm going to turn it back on itself like that, and I'm going to bring that in like that, and then I'm going to give that a press. So I've given that a press, and you'll notice that I actually brought that across to there and that across to there. Now what you're going to do is turn it inside out and start at the section at that doesn't have the bits cut into it. So we want to start up here. I just line those up a little bit, and we're just going to stitch down there, and we're going to stop about here. So I've stitched that together down there, and I've stopped about halfway. Now what I'm going to do is just turn that inside out, and then we'll give it another press. So you can see it's starting to come together. It's like a little kite. So there's our piece pressed. Now the only thing that we need to do now is just close this top section, and basically all I would do is just bring those two pieces together like that and just stitch that straight down. So now it's finished. That's just closed there. I mean, you can try and squeeze it through there if you want to. I just didn't really see the point. It doesn't really matter because that's the wrong side, that's the right side. And now just come to our trousers. At the bottom of the zipper you should be able to attach it, even if it didn't have anything there before. You should be able to just stitch that onto there like that. So we'll just stitch that onto there, and then that'll just come over, and we'll tack it to there, tack it there, and tack it there. Now I would suggest that when you tack it, start with this one over here first, leaving a bit of room, and then come back and make sure that you've got enough for the expansion in that inside leg there. You might want to move that up a little bit just so that it's got that room on either side. So we'll just stitch that across first. So that's stitched on. Now we'll just bring that across. And like I said, so that's going to go to the centre back seam. And just leave a little bit of movement there. I don't want it to be tight. I'll pin that there. And I'll just tack it. Come over to this side. So just make sure then that you've got that movement there. So probably about, that's movement there and there. Yep. And that's why using a stretch is always a good idea. Because it gives you that little bit of flexibility. And then do the same on this side. To there. Okay. Yep. So now we'll just tack that. It's got a bit of float there. That's fine. Actually, I might just bring this back a little bit. Probably a bit too much float, so I'll bring that back a bit. And that allows me to take that out a little bit more. And this one can come out a little bit more. And that's good. So I'm happy with that. So when you're tacking it, just have your knot, and then your knot can actually go on the underside. And then just through. I mean, you could actually stitch it on if you want with the machine. That's fine too. So tack that there. Same here. So again, go underneath so the knot's on the underside. When you lock it off, you just kind of slip the thread through the hole or the loop, and there you go. It's done.